have everybody here. Thank you, Ayo. And today is a special day for us at events and for everybody joining in. So welcome. Today is the last town hall. Well, in a different setting, but we are going to continue this town hall in the future. Okay. But it will be in a different setting as well. So it's really good to have everybody here today. And thank you for taking the time to join us. So for today's town hall, before we actually go into our agenda, I'll walk you through what Deep Project is. If you are new here, you could listen through and see how you can be part of the community. Oh, and if you have any question or any remarks or anything to say, you could just raise your hand and we will call you out to say what is on your mind. Actually, this is a free space. So guys, like everything is freestyling here. Whatever you want to do, just let us know and we'll give you the opportunity to do it. Since today is the last town hall with Deep. Okay. So a moment, let me share my screen and walk you through what we have. Perfect. Can you guys see my screen now? So welcome to the town hall once again. For today's agenda, we have 5 things on our list. But before we come to the agenda, as I said earlier, I want to take you guys through what Deep program is about. So Deep Project is a building of the future of decentralized AI and is fueling breakthrough ideas with open funding rounds, proposal calls, and milestone-based rewards. And for Deep, we have Deep community, like everybody here. So in the community, we connect, we collaborate, and we co-create. And Deep community bring together innovators, researchers, and builders to exchange ideas from teams and scale impact collectively. And we also have Deep Labs. And here, this is where big ideas really have their impact. So Deep Lab provides the infrastructure, mentorship, and technical expertise to accelerate AI research into real-world solutions. So if you have any idea, you could reach out to us and the lab will take it up and make it a big innovation and make it a reality for anybody who wants to benefit from your idea. So we also have deep ideation, where ideas take shape. So here we have deep ideation and it's collaborative space for exploring early stage concepts and shaping ideas before they evolve onto proposals or get funded. We have deep operations too, and it's infrastructure that scales with you. So for deep operations, they power the back end of decentralized AI with secure, scalable, and transparent infrastructure. And for Deep, we really mean business. We've already sponsored over 1,500 plus of projects, and we've had a lot of impacts in our community. So for Deep Funding, we are evolving, and this town hall is about everybody and everybody that is willing to create with us. So that is a little about Deep Project. If you want to interact with us, you could reach us on our website, deepfunding.ai. I'll share the website link in the chat so that everybody can go there. You could go and explore and also create your profile. And it would be nice to see everybody. I think I already have 41 or 47 people connected to me on Explore. So I'll be posting more there so that we see how we could connect, collaborate, reach out to ourselves, and see how we could work together. So on our agenda today, we have Ali from NetConf, who would set up the stage for us, and she will be telling us more about NetConf. Then second on the agenda, we will have Arthur, who will be giving us a beautiful presentation. Third on the agenda, we are going to have Mayor giving us an overview of our town hall so far. It's a little bit of an analytics and the dashboard looks so good. Fourth on our list, we are going to have community spotlight. And I see Andrea is already ready for her session. Then finally, we will have a spotlight from one of our community members, and it's a surprise, guys. So when he gets there, I'm sure you see he is very, very popular and very well known in the community. So with a round of applause, let's start the whole town hall with Ali, who will be giving us a presentation from NetConf. Ali, would you like to share your screen? Great.
Hello.
Hi. I like your energy.
It's been a while. I think that the 3 or 4 months since I last, maybe 5. It was before the last big event we did. I remember we were launching Latin Hack when I last came, and we were about to do Sub-Zero, which is the flagship event of Polkadot, and that went pretty well.
Nice.
But before sharing, I think that a doubt came to my mind because you presented sort of a new program, let's say, and you are saying that Deep is looking for builders or contributors, and maybe I'm the only one with the question, but what specifically do you mean by that?
Yeah, so at this point, I don't know if you know, but Deep is transitioning. So first we were Deep Funding, now we are Deep Project. So we want to emphasize more on developers coming into the ecosystem, building more. We also open doors for partners actually, and the partners door is really wide now. So we want a lot of partners involved who would come and also make use of some of the things we've created over the time in Deep Funding. Now Deep Project. Yeah.
There's a big marketplace, so
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
Thank
really cool.
you. Yes.
uh, okay, so yes, now I will share my screen. It's the first time I'm presenting on Canva. I'm not sure if it will look good like this. No, I don't think it's like this, right? Modo pantalla completa. You can see my screen there.
Yes, we can. Oh,
Is
by default.
how is it looking like full screen or just you can see the slides down?
Now that the screen is gone, so we can't see your screen.
Ah, okay. 1 second. I'm sorry. Let's go again. Compartir. Okay.
Yes,
Now,
I see it now.
nice. Let's go full screen. I don't think if this is how you're supposed to see it. Do you see that here says notes?
Yeah, we do.
Well, what can you do? Let's go then. Bueno, hello everyone. I am Ale from NerdConf. I've been in the community for a long time now, already 2 years and a half, I think. This is how it basically started. We did like a lot of one proposal for the marketing initiatives on the deep funding round 2, I think, and we did a whole presentation about doing a build-a-thon around DevConnect because it was going to be a lot of builders coming to Bangkok. We ended up doing it. It's the video you can see on the right side. We had over 200 people coming up both days. We created 46 new ideas with AI and Web3. And then some of them submitted a proposal for the RFPs. And I knew for a time that some Indians were selected to do a hub of deep funding there. I don't know if that happened or not, but I know that that conversation happened at some point. Then NerdConf escalated. I think it's stuck for some reason. I'm gonna share it another way because I don't like when it does this. Okay, let's go. Okay, so after that, NERCOM escalated, and we ended up making events for 1,000 people, mostly nerds coming over with Star Wars cosplayers, arcades, medieval fighting, which is super cool. We grew on the production side, so you can have a bigger screen and better quality of sound and better filmmakers. And then we did Latin Hack, which was super big for us. um, Latin Hack was our biggest event yet. Um, and it came to life with the premise of, in the era of AI, anyone can build anything. So the question now is not, can you build this, but rather, what problem can you fix, right? So we created Latin Hack. It was a hybrid hackathon that it had 6 halves, one in San Francisco, USA, 2 in Brazil, 1 in Colombia, 1 in Mexico, 1 in Argentina. We ended up having 101 projects. 60% of them deployed a app on Polkadot, which was super cool. They were super happy. And it was amazing. We did a professional marketing campaign with actors. We ended up having a lot of reach on social media with just the trailer that promoted basically the event. And one of the prizes was seeing Messi. If you submitted early your project and it was cool, we took you to see Messi live on Miami. So we flew one winner to Miami
Ver a
to
Messi
see
en primera
Messi.
fila no pasa
First
todos los
row.
días.
It
Por
was
eso
super
get ready
cool.
with us para ir.
All metrics were exceeded. We had over 1,000 builders, 1,300 to be exact, between the on-site builders IRL and the online builders. 101 projects deployed, 12 workshops about AI, how to make a website with AI so you can promote your product, how to focus on your business model, and everything. It was super cool. Because we realized that 1 year from now, Web3 will be dead if we don't have any real use case. And you know what that means, fellas? And it's not only because we don't have business models for most of the products that get launched, but also because there's a lot of over investing in underperforming assets. Like, we are talking about 5 billion dev grants and hackathon prizes and everything deployed into the ecosystem. 99% of these startups and products failing, and that leaves us with a cost of $3.3 million per startup acquisition on the ecosystem. Or was it 5 million? Or maybe was it 10 million? And that's the problem. We don't know. We don't even know how much it costs to bring a startup that really works, how much it costs to have a unicorn on our ecosystem. We don't know. There's not a metric. We can only speculate. And that is why Web3 will be dead if we don't do something about it. So the focus, like I said with Latin Hack, is not, can you build this, but rather, can you solve a problem? If we solve a problem, if we see that there's a pain in the society that can be fixed with tech, and your product is directed to the pain you need to solve on these people, we will have and we will succeed. NERCONF. Arre. Just want to say NERCONF. Okay, so in order to do this, we need to go from dev mode, which was highly needed at some point because Web3 friction with the Web2 world, etc. We need to go from dev mode to funder mode. But how? We need to find problem solvers. And it's not only the devs. We need to find people that can understand what society needs and can also be good at marketing the solution. If we don't have multidisciplinary teams deploying a product and we only have one dev, most likely the product will fail. And it's not because I don't like devs. I love devs. Let's go devs. But the thing is that if devs are not well marketed, it's not used for anyone, because no one will know that the product exists, and no one will use it. And for blockchain to work, we need transactions, we need volume, we need products that actually bring more users to do these two first things. Latin America, and I'm gonna be an ambassador here, Latin America is a super big tech pool of talent, just like Africa, just like Asia. Like emergent sectors of the world, emergent continents, emergent markets have a lot of good talent. And I'm the ambassador of LATAM, so I'm gonna say mine. We have 2 million software developers, 220,000 STEM graduates on our 400 universities across LATAM. We have over 12,000 startups, and we have 1,000 dedicated Web3 startups only in Latin America. That's a lot. And when it comes to NerdConf, because also this is about what we are doing right now, we right now have this super cool database of nerds that we've been growing and getting better throughout the years. And 90% of the people that it's a nerd knows how to use AI and integrate it into their workflow daily. Then we know that over 80% of our database has founder material, which is super cool. And also our technical staff seniority is more on the senior and semi-senior side, which is super cool. And bueno, here, Latin America. And right now, what NerdConf is doing is basically trying to fix this problem where we need to find products and solutions for basically the pains. We need to understand what is the real use case we have in Latin America or the world. We need to understand also how to captivate users, and we need to have good products. And with NerdConf, we are basically doing this. It's a 14-week program, basically. We do research about what our partner needs. Then we onboard the nerds through a 4-week hackathon, and then we incubate them in a 4-week incubation program with our new co-founder at NerdConf called Carolina, that is an LP at a VC called Orchestra Her, and she knows how to basically turn products into real use cases that solve problems and will make Web3 not die, basically. So I would like to close this with a saying that we have in my country, that is, it's not the ship, it's the pilot. Maybe your product is super cool, but you're not a good pilot. Your product will not succeed. But maybe your product is kind of good, maybe it's even bad, but then you're a good pilot and know how to drive it, and your product will succeed. Because in the end, it's not about what to do, but what problem can you fix and how you say to people, hey, I can fix this. So that's me. Thank you. NerdConf on here. That is a wrap.
Thank you, Ali. I always like your energy when you come on the town hall. Your energy is like up here.
Always good to do
Also,
my best.
yeah. Also, it's good. NetConf also did so well for us. And it was through, I'm sure it's through NetConf we were able to have the on-chain hub. So we have a hub in Asia called On-Chain. And recently, they even helped the Dev Outreach Circle have a big hackathon in India. So I think it's good. So thank you for all the work you are doing. And we really appreciate it from this side of the project. And we encourage you to continue. And we would love for you to bring in partners. Okay, you bring in partners into Deep. So I will send you a link so that you join is a group in Mattermost. It has the affiliates. We want to bring partners into Deep. We are all there. If you have any questions, you could ask there. So I'll send you a link so you join. In case I forget, please remind me, but I'll send you a link. Okay. Thank you, Ali.
Sure.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth, Priska. I was thinking about the same thing. It's a perfect fit here, and you're probably not aware, Ale, but we're starting this affiliate program for others to earn some rewards if they onboard a partner on Deep. So we're making Deep ready so it can host not only SingularityNET projects, RFPs, rounds, ideation challenges, lab projects, whatever, but also allow partners to do the same. And if you go to affiliates.deepprojects.ai, and it's also in the menu, then or partners.deepprojects.ai, that has a little bit more information. The affiliate is mainly to create a link for yourself that you can use to recruit partners, and then you get a personalized link to the submission form. But have a look, check it out, and see what you think of it. And if you see any way that we can help each other, then let me know.
Sure. I'll take a look and we'll let you know. I really wanted to share what we were doing, and I feel that, I don't know, we realized after 3 years that the hackathon system is broken. Like, maybe if I ask you, Priska, what happened after the on-chain Asia hackathon pass, you will say, well, half of the teams are not there anymore, and the other half, well, just took the prize and the project is died. So we realized that this is not good, because you are basically putting money into something that won't work. And we found out that teams really need to be assisted and incubated to really make progress. We have even some really good success cases with lots of users onboarding, more than 10,000, and projects that still after 1 year are live and running. And we are really, really happy with what we are doing right now. So hopefully more people can realize that teams sometimes need to be guided. Otherwise, it won't work on hackathon side.
Yeah, well, I think this is a very impressive presentation, and also very timely from our perspective. I don't know exactly what is being planned, but I do expect somehow in the coming months or so to see some hackathon RFPs coming out. And of course, we have our own teams in the community that have done also great hackathons in Nigeria and India, for instance. But I see no reason why you shouldn't be able to apply for them as well. So stay tuned, keep an eye out, and if I see it popping up, then I'll let you know as well.
Thank
But
you.
Don't rely on that.
No. Don't worry that we're actually having lots of meetings with different partners, and there's something really interesting that different blockchains have different problems. Some need transactions, other ones need mini apps, other ones need use cases, and it's really interesting to talk about it with everyone. like when we used to do only events, maybe it was harder for people to answer a phone like, hey, I'm doing this event. And maybe they didn't understand like the return of investment they would getting. But now with this product, it's actually amazing. And like, I'm sure this because we've known each other for so long, right? It's amazing how the reception on the other side has been. I don't know. It's just you enter the call in a different way. Everyone is like more relaxed, and they understand that, hey, this is a problem and maybe you can fix it. So I really like that.
Cool. Thank you. And thank you for being here and presenting. Appreciate it. Good luck also.
Thank you. I'll keep an eye on the RFPs. Actually, here is 1:30 a.m. I'm in
Yeah.
Thailand again. I'm in Thailand
Yeah.
again.
Thank you so much, Ali, and even for the sacrifice. Actually, on this call, we have a lot of people who have joined in from one of the craziest time zones ever. And Arthur is part. So I'm really, really, really grateful for you guys being on the town hall today. Thank you very much, Ali. And we'll keep in touch,
An
right?
honor. Yeah,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can see each other again in the next town hall, however
Yes.
forms it is. It's
Yes.
actually super crazy that this is the last town hall and I'm here. Like it was a casualty, really. So I'm really happy that this happened. Thank you, Priska, for the
Yeah.
invitation.
Thank you too. Well, guys, so we've had a beautiful session from Ali. Moving on to one of the most interesting presentations you would ever be present for. It is this one smart guy. He's called Dr. Arthur. And with a round of applause, let's welcome Dr. Arthur to give us a presentation on incremental compressions and adaptive reasoning. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the lovely words.
Yeah.
Let me share the screen, I guess. Okay. Do you see the screen now?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So first of all, I'm very grateful to be able to do this project and to be accepted by Deep Funding, and it's progressing well. I've finished 2 out of 3 milestones, and really hoping to finish it, and that it is going to be a good contribution. So what's the idea? The idea is there's this framework, William, that I've been researching and building for the last 8 years or so, and now I'm trying to connect it to the Hyperon infrastructure. So that's called William on Morg, and the idea is to teach AI systems to learn how to think more efficiently by compressing data and thereby accelerating reasoning processes in Hyperon. The problem is that AI knowledge bases are quite large, and you've got a lot of statements contained there, and if you want to reason through these statements, that means to chain a lot of statements together in order to find a conclusion that you're looking for, or an answer to a query that you're looking for. It faces a combinatorial explosion. So you will have, the larger the knowledge base, the more difficult it's actually to answer queries. And here's where data compression can shine, where there are just many various use cases. For example, if you have derived already facts, instead of doing redundant work, you can notice regularities in your derivation. You can notice dead ends if a reasoning branch if a reasoning search tree branches into some dead end in some past searches, then if you do data compression on that, you can say, okay, in this direction there's less likely to be a solution, and in another direction there will be more likely to be a solution. So that's kind of the problem that I'm trying to solve within this project. And how am I trying to do this? William is a framework for general data compression. So it has been shown not to be working not only for reasoning, but also for various sequence compression of sequences of numbers, of simple images, geometrical patterns, simple games like tic-tac-toe. These are all can be attacked using data compression. That's a fact that's often not mentioned or rarely mentioned. The reason why machine learning works is because it compresses data. That's the reason. That's what you need to do if you want to generalize from the data that you actually that you have seen. That's the mathematical reason behind it. So yeah, and what this has been known already in computer science for quite a while, and there has been developed a whole theory called algorithmic information theory that formalizes that these things. And what I have done is to develop a so-called theory of incremental compression that makes the search for the compressed representation faster. So usually when you want to compress data, either you have some specific algorithm that compresses an image or a video, but it only works for that file type. But if you want to build a general data compression algorithm, you will, that's very difficult to do. And what I have found in theory, that you can actually often split up your compression task by describing various features of your data. For example, if you want to describe an object, you can describe its size, its shape, its color, and its location independently. And because knowing the color doesn't tell you anything about the size or location. So you can search for these features independently, and your search algorithm is then much faster. And this is all formulated in the language of algorithmic information theory. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but just as a quick overview, when you have a data string as a binary string that you want to compress, the task is what the algorithm does. It looks for a pair of autoencoders, which is it looks for one autoencoder, which is a function in its inverse. And this it's just like a neural network autoencoders, but more generalized. And these functions are general Turing machines that can make any computation. And the task is that this autoencoder maps out some regularity, like the size or the shape, and by mapping it out, it has compressed the data a little bit. And the next time step is to find another autoencoder and another encoder, and so on, until you compress data step by step, incrementally. And what you can show is that the optimal description of the data, it's called the Kolmogorov complexity, is going to be defined by these autoencoders that you have found. And I'm not going to go much deeper into this. It has nice mathematical properties that you can base actually working algorithms on, and that's what William is about. What I have done then particularly is I've built this algorithm together in a research lab that I have co-founded with my partner, and we have had a team of 5 people or so, and that have worked both on a theory and an implementation, and on the most recent iteration, I have introduced several novel aspects into it. There is the algorithm Greedy Alice searches greedily for compression, and the dark enumerates all directed acyclic graphs which express all sorts of programs. So basically, it searches in all sorts of programs in the program space in order to find a candidate program that can compress our data a little bit at least, and then a subsequent candidate program keeps compressing further.
Arthur, you're explaining it very clearly, and that's why I completely didn't realize. But are you aware that you're still at the first page of your presentation?
Oh, I'm not aware. I'm sorry.
Well, it works perfectly without the image, I must say. So.
Oh, okay. I'm already at slide 6. Oh, that's too bad. What do you see now?
Now I see slide 6. Yeah.
Okay. I actually went through this. The problem. Okay. What is William? And then incremental compression. These different aspects and features of an object that can be found independently of each other. Then there was this one math slide, and I was here actually. Yes, please interrupt me if something goes wrong or so, or if I'm being unclear. So what I was about to say is that in the recent iteration of the development of this algorithm, there have been several novel parts in the algorithm, and the most crucially is the integration with Mork, which is a Hyperon component used to store and query large knowledge graphs. And here's the thing: how these two algorithms basically synergetically help each other. Well, actually, Mork helps William, not the other way around yet. What William has difficulties with is it has to exhaustively search through a large space of programs, even in order to find just a little property of the data. Not even the whole description would be way too hard, but even just a feature or an aspect of your data, like it begins with 100 zeros, for example, or the object is red. Like these kinds of aspects have to be found, and even that is sometimes hard. But if you have several tasks of the same domain, like for example, you solve similar tasks, like 100 similar tasks. Some of them may be easier, some will be harder. Then often some programs that you already have found can be parts of larger programs. So if you keep reusing them, you can suddenly solve more difficult problems. So you can store subgraphs that have been useful in order to make larger graphs from several of those useful subgraphs. And suddenly you discover, okay, you can actually solve harder problems by storing and reusing them. And this is where Mork actually shines, because Mork is able to store very graphs or any S expression basically very efficiently, and also can query them very efficiently. So since William uses exhaustive search, there's a lot of programs to be searched through and stored, and also subgraphs of the programs that William has found. So therefore, Mork is very suitable for this. And what I have done is to use the Python client of Mork that interacts with the Mork server. So basically, the cycle is: you compress data, you discover a useful pattern, you upload it to the Mork server, and if that piece of data, if that piece of pattern is occurring frequently, you give it a higher weight, and then it will be more likely to be retrieved and reoccur. And then Nextsearch retrieves it, and that leads to faster compression, and you accelerate yourself. So it's basically that coupling with William with Mork is a kind of a self-improving or self-accelerating loop. And in the recent milestone, I was able to demonstrate that it actually works. Basically, when William tries to compress a set of sequences from the same domain without Mork, it takes a fair amount of time, but when it couples with Mork, it is much faster. And that milestone has just been reviewed recently, and kind of these results verified. And what I want to do now is to use that in order to accelerate reasoning in Hyperon. Actually, I want to use these capabilities, for example, to do predictive pruning. So if you have some reasoning rules that often fail or that are useless, just by mining reasoning traces, meaning there are chains of reasoning steps, some of which have been successful, others have been less successful. William could do basically pattern mining based on these reasoning traces and provide them with probability. Okay, next time you don't go in this direction, or you should go into this direction. Provide, it's basically inference control, which Ben has at some point called the core problem to be solved, and when we proceed toward AGI. So these attempts are aimed in order to solve some of the core problems that is in front of the Hyperon project, and also for achieving AGI in general. I haven't said much about it, but that's kind of what has been driving me and motivating me. So, and the bigger vision, yes, that's what I've just roughly expressed. Yes, it's a closed loop, self-enforcing. Yeah, and hopefully within the reasoning attempts, instead of discovering patterns by hand, William discovers them on its own, and therefore it could accelerate this reasoning process a lot more. That's the hope that it will happen in the third milestone. Yeah, and that's about it. Thank you for your attention and your support once again.
This is awesome. I have a question. So with the
Yes.
data compression, like do we have any sites we should be aware of, or like any negative sides of data? Because now we know how the system is with AI already. People are somewhat like scared of their data being out there, or even data getting into the hands of people who can use it for bad things, right? So is there any regulation or anything that has to be put in place to make sure in the process of compressing or something like that, like it's safe?
Oh, I'm not sure that whether this pertains to data safety in any way. Well, data compression helps AI to accelerate, right? And AI can be used for good and for bad things in order to steal data or in order to guard data or to protect data. And only in that very indirect way, I would say compression is relevant to your question. Or maybe I can't think of a more direct connection.
Okay. So someone has asked a question in the chat. I can read it out so that you could also have a look. Okay. So I'm reading it. The person says
Yes, okay, I'm reading it, okay.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, I think Priska, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Well, actually, I don't know whether I can concretely answer this one because I haven't yet started to actually integrate it with the reasoning process, because this will be part of the third milestone now. And but I am actively looking for pain points, actually, right? Not just demonstrations, but what are the actual pain points when you do reasoning in atom space, and then we can together brainstorm of how a pattern miner that uses data compression can alleviate those pain points.
Jan has his hand up. Jan, please go ahead.
Let me try to ask a smart question. What you mentioning at some point, it rang a bell, and it reminded me a little bit about of EACA, economic attention allocation.
Yes.
And it seems what you're aiming with William and Morg also goes in the same direction. So do you know about ECAN and how do they reinforce or overlap?
Yes, and I know roughly about ECAN. I think ECAN implements a particular approach to do inference control in directions that that might be most informative. I think they use a particular information method to guide inference control. I think what I'm trying to do could be complementary to ECAN, because what ECAN doesn't do is pattern mining or some sort of regularity detection. I don't think that this is what it's done. I don't think that ECAN does it. So that's where William can shine. And on the other hand, what ECAN does is something William cannot do, and it does not implement that particular approach. Yeah.
Yeah, what I seem to remember from a long time ago is that econ might work well with evolutionary AI processes, and then steering that evolutionary process in a direction that has most probability of being successful. Yeah, not sure
Yes,
there are similarities there.
and the evolutionary algorithm would do what? I'm not sure how it integrates with econ.
Well, I think that's Moses, right? If I'm not, if I'm
Yes,
correct.
yes,
And well, if there's an evolutionary mechanism that just tries uh, a lot of different directions, then it would be a huge help in efficiency if you can predict which directions will be most likely to succeed. And seems to me
yes,
we're looking at the same thing here.
yes. You mean like an evolutionary algorithm that searches for reasoning patterns or reasoning trees, something like that? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I mean that's completely a viable approach. What I would like to build is not just that, but I have had several examples there. Not, for example, you have co-occurring multi-step chains, like you have a chain of from A to B to C to D, and that occurs frequently. Or you have patterns of similar facts to compress it as one compressed pattern. So to do something like batch reasoning. So these are just examples that of ways that it could be used.
Yeah.
So and there are even, I think the strongest side of the approach is that it could discover patterns that I am not even able to foresee. Usually when you program a fixed pattern miner, it just looks for fixed types of patterns. But since my approach implements a general program search and general data compression there, it could, in theory, find arbitrary patterns. And that's kind of the advantage, so that we don't have to program in advance what kind of patterns we're going to look for.
Yeah. Sounds very exciting and complex. Looking forward
Yes,
to see how this will get its place in the Hyperon architecture. There are many pieces of that puzzle, and they all can fit together in multiple ways. So yeah, it will be very exciting. I think we're ramping up right now in terms of speed and meta tooling and maturity, that we're getting at a stage that we can more and more experiment with all these things and see what actually will come out of it. So thank you.
right. Looking forward to it.
Hands.
Yeah, Paulo, you could go ahead.
Yeah, so thanks for your presentation, Professor Archer. And I really liked your proposal. And I worked in research on the neurology and AI and this kind of connection. And something I found very interesting in your research is the way you transfer something like usual, like make a hard compact files, and okay, now we are not compacting, now you are extracting features, extracting intelligence from this. And I'd like to know if you have explored this connection with the neurology and the way the brain works. Because, for example, a map, it only makes sense if they have a scale. A map one by one don't make sense, because we need to shrink information and get new things. And have you explored this side too? Not only for AGI, but for the other side areas as neurology, neurotechnology, etc. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Small corrections: I'm not a professor, and my last name is Franz. But I have done a PhD actually in infant development in AI models of cognitive development in infancy. So there I came across like building neural networks of object unity perception in infancy, for example, the perceive an object as a whole, and they do experiments like they cover with a hand some moving object, and if the infant is surprised to see when it's uncovered and then there's a little piece missing, then it's kind of the infant realizes that there is something there, and you can express these kind of regularities as a compression process, actually, because in order to represent a moving rod or just a rod, a rod is a straight thing, so you don't have to store every pixel. You can store just the endpoints, and from the endpoints you can compute the line. You don't have to store every pixel of the line. So if you can actually compress data, you can save the rod much better than if you cannot compress data. So you can argue, if you build an AI system that slowly learns to compress data, it exhibits similar learning and development trajectories as human infants, which is something that I've argued during my thesis. So this compression perspective is in certain circles well known. It's basically the basis of AI. It's often, but in kind of mainstream AI thing, not articulated or not well articulated. But it's a very general principle that allows learning and just noticing regularities. All needs compression. For example, I have a white wall behind me. That's a regularity because every pixel looks like the neighboring pixel. That's a regularity. How do you notice it? By trying to compress the pixels out of which the wall consists. Yeah. And that also happens in the brain, of course. You have all sorts of neurons that are tuned to various things, detectors for bars. Why are they useful? Because bars at various orientation denote contrast jumps of images, and that's where often the objects end that the world consists of. That these borders delineate the limits of the objects that surround us, and that's why there are many of them. Therefore, it's meaningful evolutionary to develop these bar detectors inside. But that's data compression, because you compress the many bars outside into a single neuron that detects them, or a set of neurons that are tuned to that. And you can argue similar things about depth perception, about color perception, and so on. So it's and the whole neurological theories, predictive coding, sparse coding, that all also Hebbian learning, that all also have their analogies in computational neuroscience that try to model brain function, that they all have connection to data compression and information theory.
Paulo, I hope that answers your question. Great. So Dennis, you could unmute and let's hear your question.
Yeah, so hi everyone. Thank you, Arthur, for your presentation. As I said in the comment, I'm currently working on, I wouldn't necessarily call it a project, it's more fun research. And I'm trying to basically get Meta to give or to generate accurate signals for crypto trading with its reasoning
Accurate
capabilities.
signals for what? Sorry?
crypto trading.
Crypto trading. Okay.
Yes. And so currently I am passing a lot of data, including trend strength and so much more data in order to accurately determine whether we are in a bearish or a bullish like run, in order to determine what trade to actually make. But then
Yes.
when I try back testing, it for like I think 3 months for BTC and USDT, it takes like a long time. And this is due to the amount of data that is being introduced into the atom space. And it takes its time. I think for every candle, I pass like about 14 or 15 indicators into there. So it's taking its time to basically like come up with what regime we're in and then pass it to different layers to actually make the trade. And your solution seems to be the best way for me to actually do that faster. Because if I'm able to compress that data and I'm able to identify that this data looks the same as what we checked the last time, I wouldn't have to do reasoning again. It would make reasoning faster.
Because you have to do the same reasoning steps for different data. Is that
Yes.
the reason? Okay.
Yes, so
Okay.
it keeps
That
on
reminds
like
me of this batch
incrementing.
reasoning idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so it keeps on incrementing like every time. So I saw the demonstration and I was like, okay, this is what I actually need now. So my questions are, do you have this maybe in a GitHub repo, or is like a server available that I can actually like play with?
Well, everything is I have in a repo, of course. You can feel free to check it out, and I'll be happy to assist you at any point of this process. But particularly, there is no integration with Meta yet, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so that's something to be done yet, and but maybe that would be also a great thing to try. We would have to discuss it in more detail. Yeah, I'd be happy to discuss with you what exactly you're looking for. So basically, you have indicators. I guess these are arrays of many numbers, right? Each of the
Yeah, so
indicators.
they're like raw floats that you get from the data and then you pass it. So the application is split into two. So I'm using the Python to Meta bridge in Python to basically handle the communication. So I have some reasoning files for like written in Meta, and then the strategies are written in Python. So I basically pass the data over and then handle the reasoning on one end. And then when the response is in, pass that back to a different layer to actually make a trade that is reasonable based on the data that it's actually made a decision of that.
And how are these indicators stored in Meta?
So currently I'm passing raw floats.
Okay. Then there will be a huge number of
Yes.
S expressions that you get. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So you basically have a huge number of structurally identical S expressions, just with different floats at the same the same
Yes.
location. Okay.
Yes.
And it would be nice to do batch reasoning over thing. Yeah. Yeah, I think that could be a good use case. Yeah.
Yes. But not to hold everybody, I would maybe contact you later on so we can talk more about this.
Yes. Contact me later, and when we can go into detail about this. I'd be happy to go deeper on this one.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. This is why we have the town hall, to have people collaborate, and it's really a good thing to have here. Thank you so much, Arthur, for this insightful presentation. And to everybody who asked questions, I hope your questions were answered. And moving on, we have one
Thank you as well.
presentation. Oh, yes. Yeah, welcome. We have one presentation from one of our finest in the ecosystem, and he's going to give us an overview of how the town hall has been in the past months. So with a round of applause, let's give it up to Mr. Mayor to give us the overview for the town hall. And this is looking back for how the town hall has evolved. Oh, guys, our claps are not working. Our claps are not coming.
Hey guys, apologies for the way my voice is. I'm not feeling so well. I told Priscilla, and Priscilla insisted that I have to present this. But so I'll try my best. I'll try my
Please
best. We kind of tagged this town hall like the last town hall for now. I don't know if there will be a town hall moving forward. So we decided that we need to send in or present attendance over the past months of town halls. And yeah, I worked with the data analytics circle on this. Maybe I won't be presenting it as much as they would, but Oscar is not available right now, so I think I have to do it. So yeah, I'll be sharing my screen, and we would have that. So I don't know if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay, let me remove this. Okay, so I'll be presenting the attendance overview of town hall for the period where we started taking attendance, where we started recording attendance. I think that was from the period of last year up until now, up until December last year as well. Not recent, but up until December last year. And from the time we started taking attendance as event circle, we have counted 32 town halls, which is the meeting count here, and we have had an average attendance of 34 people on each of these town halls. Our town halls have lasted about 1.6 hours on average over the 32 that we've had so far, and we've had a peak attendance of 52 persons attending a town hall. Like one of the town hall had a peak attendance of 52. And we've also had a minimum of attendance of 17 people. So we've had peak of 72 or 52, and we've had minimum of 17. At 30 minutes, we've had our average attendance at 30. At 1 hour, we've had 32. At 1.5 hours, we've had 29. These figures will show you that from 30 minutes up until 1.5 hour, on average, we've had a balanced attendance. So we've had a very good retention rate from the time the meeting starts till probably the end of the meeting. And this should, at 1.5 hour, we had almost the same attendance with 0.5 hour. And since our average call time is 1.6, it means that up until the end of meetings, we almost have the same number of people that started the meeting, which is a very good retention rate. So there is a chart here that shows town hall, the average attendance being 34, just like I mentioned before. And over the years, we started recording from September 5th, 2024. We've had a pretty decent, should I say increase, because over here we started at 20, and at some point we had 48, and mid last year we had our peak, which is 52. And I think at the end of December last year, we had 33, which is still a 50% increase from when we started taking this attendance at 20. or 50, more than 50% actually. So our peak attendance for town hall was on May 1st, and we've had that was on May 1st, we had the 52 attendance, which was the peak. And then we've had other town halls. This is the top 10 town hall sessions we've had. The 10th highest happened on September 18th, and we had 37 people on that town hall. But again, the peak attendance happened on May 1st. I would really love to know what this topic is. So yeah. Yeah, May 1st, May 1st. Sorry, but I would have loved to know what that topic is. Yeah, maybe I'll get that. I would love to know what that topic is for May 1st, why we had a peak attendance that day. So I'll be moving over to retention and efficiency. At 30 minutes, we had a retention of 86%. At 1 hour, we had a retention of 93%, and at 1.5, we had a retention of 86%. Am I still very clear? Because I'm saying my internet connection is stable. Is it?
You are very clear.
Yes, you're so
I
clear.
can still hear you.
All right. So we had a very decent retention rate. Like I said before, 86% is a very good retention at 1 hour 93, and at 1.5 hour 86. Still very good retention. Engagement score of more than 50%, because we calculated this engagement efficiency score from 1 to 5, and we had 2.54, which is basically more than half. I think that is also good as well. And yeah, here is a graph showing that engagement participant retention comparison for 0.5, 1 hour, and 1.5. And note that I actually had this meeting down. If I had included all hands, then you will have seen probably a different chart here, the town hall session, of course. But on summary, based on summary, if I had not filtered this out, all hands 85% still present at 30 minutes, and a slight increase to roughly 93 at the 1 hour mark before dropping to 83 at 1.5. But town hall meetings show the most consistent retention, staying close to the highs 80s and the lows 90 across all time points. So on town hall meetings, we've had most retention because, like I said at the beginning, more people, almost the same number of people that enter the town hall at 30 minutes are the same number of people that probably almost the same that are still there by 1 hour 30 minutes. So at town hall meetings, the retention consistency is very close. It's very tight. But yeah, in contrast, half-yearly retention, yeah, but I won't be talking about half-yearly right now. So participant drop-off between 0.5 hour to 1.5 hour from, I would not want to be talking about the half-yearly presentation, but we only have one. This graph only shows one half-yearly presentation, and I already filtered it out. But all hands remains like, and town hall show almost no drop in participation. So this also still tells you that only 1% drop in participation between 0.5 hour to 1.5 hour for town hall. It shows pretty much that retention rate in town hall meetings is very, very high. With, like I said, the same number that started, almost the same number that ends a town hall. And we have our efficiency score, like I mentioned at the beginning, of 2.5. Town hall use, the meaning of this, 10 times more efficiently, while all hands meeting requires more time to sustain similar attendance. So from what we calculated, based off of this participant drop-off between 1 hour and 0.5 hour, we concluded that town hall uses more meeting time more efficiently, because if we have more people staying at the town hall from the beginning up until the end, it means that probably there is more engagement going on at town halls, and that's why people stay from beginning to the end, almost the same number. And we ended up using this at the end of town hall with their topic all year. You can come here and get the retention at 0.5, 1 hour, and 1.5 for each of these town hall. And same goes here as well. Sorry, it's loading. Reception over here. So yeah, this is the town hall where we had the total number of attendance as 52, which is our peak attendance, and the topic was AI for peace in conflict areas. Yeah, I remember that town hall very well, where we had that was where we had our total attendance peaked. That's where our total attendance peaked on town hall. So yeah, this is more like a pretty summarized attendance overview of town halls, of the past 32 town halls we've had from December 2025, 32 times backwards. So yeah, I thought that I should share this, saying that this is probably the last town hall, if I should call it that. Yeah. So yeah, this is what we've worked with data analytics to bring together. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayo. Thank you so much. So we actually have a nice plan. We want to take a picture, all of us. So it would be nice to have everybody's camera on so that we take like 2 minutes or 1 minute to take a quick picture, and that will close the town hall. Oh no, we have one spotlight session coming up with one of, okay, I won't spoil the surprise, but we have a spotlight session coming up. So immediately after the picture, then we go into the spotlight, then we close the town hall. I would like to have a thumbs up if everybody is okay with the picture session, so we can have the pictures taken. Are we good?
Why is it actually the last town hall?
Yeah, it's because Deep is transitioning, and in the transition phase, we want to start afresh. So now, currently, this town hall is proudly sponsored by Deep Project, but in the future, it will be sponsored sponsored by SingularityNET. So for Deep, it's ending, but for SNet, it's continuing.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are just celebrating it. Jan, are we good?
I would have phrased it a little bit differently. I would have said we are going from an hourly based approach to a project based approach. And in the short to midterm, a lot of these projects will come from the budget from SingularityNET, and SingularityNET will decide which projects will be approved. So instead of going through the motions that we have been doing, now we have to frame this as a project and then motivate parties that will decide to approve this as a project, and then we can continue. But we might also see some change, or we will also see some changes based on this. It's a great opportunity to rethink what we have been doing and to format it a little bit different. We also have the objective to be even more, we're already doing that actually, but continuously more supportive of ASI tech stack in what we're doing. So actually, Arthur, this was a great example of that. Thank you. So yeah, we'll see where there's opportunity and where there's appetite, and in what form and shape these town halls will continue.
Yeah, and we are getting ready for that. So Jan, watch out.
Thanks for explaining.
Thank you too, Arthur. Ayo, are you ready? Are you ready for the picture?
I'm ready.
Yes.
Yes, we encourage as many people as can have their camera on, so that it's not just profile pictures. It will take maybe 2 seconds.
So
Yeah,
maybe
thank you, Gochi.
you could count for us. I would like to give some cute poses for the picture. That would be like the thumbnail for YouTube. So
Okay, so let's do it in 3 seconds, right? 3, 2, 1. Okay, I got
should we
it.
take another one or is okay?
Oh, Anthony just came on. Okay, let's take another one.
Okay.
Anthony has a very broad smile in that one, so that's quite good. Yes, we have it now. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Oh, the second one, Jan couldn't give the pose he was giving. He was giving one nice pose.
I'm really not a poser, right? I don't.
But you tried, Jan. You tried.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, thank you everybody for yes, for taking the pictures with us. And we will keep it in our archives. We already have what we did last year. That was the book, the yearbook. So we are going to keep that also in there so that anybody could access it on the website. So thank you very much. Moving on the last things to do for the town hall, we are going to have a community spotlight session, and Miriam will be the one leading that. Miriam, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the final segment of Deep Project Town Hall. I'm still getting used to saying Deep Project, but welcome to the last segment and the most special segment of the Town Hall. As you know, but for those of you who are new to the community or listening to the replay of this video, it is a part of the Town Hall where we get to learn and celebrate a member of our community who has been valuable and has impacted us and the overall mission and work at the project. And today our guest is can I say long anticipated? Our guest is also someone who you've definitely read his name, heard his voice, seen his face in some shape or form here at the project. And I think that it's also really lovely that such an integral member of our community is wrapping up the town hall. So let's give a round of virtual and warm applause to Ayo from Operations and Event Circle. Hello, Ayo.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for being here, even though you were part of the planning of this. But thank you so much. You're such a special guest, and I'm so glad to have you. So we just have a few questions for you, and please answer them as candidly as possible. Also, if you are listening to his responses and you have a similar experience, if you're sharing one or a question you'd also like to ask Ayo about his interests, his life, why his beard is shorter in 2026 versus 2025, go ahead and ask him. And this, think of it as one last hurrah and get to poke a little into Ayo's life. All right, getting into it, let's start with the very first question. Now, Ayo, for those of you, for people here might not know that beyond being operations coordinator or being a member of the event circle and being a great event host, at the core of your being is storytelling, right? I think that that's one of the first things people can pick about you and how you approach things, stories and storytelling. And in fact, when we had you on as our guest on X Spaces, when we learned about why the best tech loses to the best story, that part of you really was open and obvious to every listener now. But you're not just a storytelling guy, you're also working in operations, and you do a lot with systems, people, and project management, right? Now, you sit at the intersection of all of this. How do you balance structure and creativity in the way you show up here at Deep Funding?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here. Now, this feels totally different from all of my experiences with the town hall. This feels totally different. Yeah, so I have never thought about balancing these things, really, to be honest. But I think that what helps is what I would just call intuition, because there is a way. So structure is good, but sometimes structure can also be limiting, right? Because the idea about structure is that it gives frame, and the idea about frame is that it is usually rigid, because to be strong, it has to be rigid, right? And so I think that just how every innovation, the innovation must come before the legislation for the innovation, right? It's just the way of the world, right? So yeah, so you can legislate for something that has not yet come, which basically means that at every point in time when you are trying to move forward, innovate, to create, you're always going to be in the gray zones, right? Because right or wrong has not yet been decided for it, right? So I think that for me, it's just mostly intuition to say, okay, this structure is now limiting, or to say this structure is now necessary, right? so you just kind of move. I think it's more like sailing. So it's more like being on the water, right? So you just feel, and then yeah. So yeah, I'd never really thought about balancing stuff like that.
Wow, I think that's really fast. I like that approach of looking at things because you are one person I cannot quite classify. Today I was reading about how type A personalities working with type B personalities can be such a havoc, and interestingly how both personalities can learn from one another. So for instance, the type A could learn that even the most perfect plan can fail, and sometimes you just have to remove your leg from the gas, or whatever car analogy can work there. And type B personalities can also learn that discipline is also important, and that the world really just rewards people who have speed and execution over people who are more go with the flow kind of vibe. And I think that that's something we see from how you approach work. And it's also interesting how you've used sailing to describe it, right? So it's trusting your gut, not exactly following a rigid structure, but then there's still efficiency in trusting your gut, right? You don't just, you listen to what matters and you make informed decisions. It's not exactly going with the flow. It is using knowledge and wisdom to, carve a better path. And I think that's very interesting. And I'm so glad that I get to witness such from you. All right. Thank you so much. Now, moving on. My next question, if deep projects, or also thinking about from when we were deep funding, if we were a story you were telling to the world, what would be the central theme or message?
Thank you. That's a tough one. So when I joined Deep Funding, I met a good number of people in the community, and then over the years, I still came to realize that I was also still one of the earliest people, right? So I had and have some interesting view, about how far we've come. I mean, wonderful people joining the community, people doing amazing things. So if I were to be telling the story, I'll call it collective becoming, right? Because there's just no way gotten here without everybody. I mean, I don't see it. I don't see how we could have gotten here, without everybody. It's a totality of everybody deciding who we want to become, right? And yeah, sometimes it's like cheating. It's not always fun, right? And then sometimes it's also like sipping orange juice. It's also sweet. So yeah, so collective becoming, yes, or something like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, just to follow up on that, I think that's such a beautiful way to centralize our story. Now, as from your experience as a brand strategist, from your work as an event host at Event Circle, from your work as operations coordinator, how would you describe the personality of the project if it were a person?
That's also tough. Okay, so I remember a few years, not few, quite a number of years, I wanted to understand who I was. So I took this personality test, and then so it turns out that according to that body of work, there are 16 personality types, and I turned out to be extroverted, intuitive, feeling, and there's the P for something. I don't know, ENFP. I'm trying to remember what the P for. I think it's for perceiving or something. And over time, I wanted to know exactly what that means, and then to help me also decide on the things that I would do and things like that. And so I would take a big risk and try to imagine if the one was a person, and then what personality type it would be. I think because we are projects, at first we are funding, then we are projects, we are definitely extroverted, right? We have to be grounded inside, and we also have to reach out, right? And because we are also trying to do something that not necessarily has been done, in that sense, we have very unique perspectives to things in the community. The way, I mean, I am and was, very active with the Ambassadors Program, SNET Ambassador Program. And I can tell you that Deep Funding is totally different culture from the Ambassadors Program. I mean, it's just like the neighbor, just like our neighbor. Probably you could even call us siblings, right? So different, not necessarily. I mean, this is not a one is better, one is that kind of thing. I'm just saying different, So I would say that the way we've gone about things is usually very, very what's the word? When you know a thing before you can prove it, right? So, for example, how did we know that circles will work, right? How do we know that circles work? How do we know to create new circles? Like you just say, okay, and things like that. And then how do we know to put so much trust in people and trust that people will just do right? I mean, it was as interesting, for example, as saying, if you feel like there's a circle that you need to create, just come and create it. I mean, we had no documentation at all at some point about who could create a circle, why a circle should be created. I mean, look at that, right? So if I was to prove that, I would say that we're extroverted, intuitive, thinking, and perceiving. That is to say, as much as we like to do and execute, we love to experiment because we know that knowing is experiential. The highest level of knowing before the final level, which is to teach other people, is to experience it. So yeah, I think that would be possibly what I would call deep funding, deep project has a personality. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes total sense. I mean, I was expecting a one-word answer, but then you've taken us on a journey and we've explored the personality of deep funding, just like the question asked, in many ways. And honestly, no argument here. I think that's such a great way to describe us.
Okay,
and
so I can't do one word, but I can try two words. That would be visionary architect. Yeah, something like that. Yes.
Okay. And of course, we also have the leadership of Jan and Raphael Pressa to thank for that. You know, I was listening to a podcast today, and one of the speakers had talked about how even though she's a mom and everyone knows that parenting is really, really tough, and she has children, and it's really exhausting to have children and have multiple businesses being run, and you are the center of these businesses. But she tells herself that it is important that these children grow up to see that, you know, getting money is not easy work. It is hard work. It is important for the children to see that mommy comes back exhausted, but she goes to work the next day still. And I was just thinking about how that mirrors how, you know, corporate leadership and leadership in general can be. We really don't see how when leaders show their approach to things, it really just helps everyone that's following, right? So Jan and Raphael have shown that they like execution. I mean, Jan would drop a video that is almost an hour long and 1,000-word follow-up message on, I was just thinking about this and it's really rough, but I just wanted to put it out there. And that really showed us that if you have a thought, do not waste time in getting it out there. Like I was saying, speed and execution, right? You have your thoughts now, so just, you know, put it out there. And then we are seeing 16 other people responding on the thread. Oh my goodness, yes. And I was just, then I watched this video, and then I listened to this, and then, you know, it's now a collective work towards such great, you know, efficiency and visionary achievements, right? Because we've learned now from our leaders that we can do these things. And so shout out to Jan and Raphael, the two people we did not get to spotlight, but the two MVPs of the season anyway.
Oh,
All
no,
right.
Miriam, they are in the future.
Oh, they are in the
Jan and
future,
Raphael are
sorry.
in the future, yes.
Priscilla is very future oriented today. We are in the future. We shall be back. So put a pin on your calendar for us. Okay, I had a last question, but it's like a two-forked question, right? What's something you've learned about people here, not just the systems here, from coordinating across this ecosystem? And if you had to describe your journey so far in maybe 3 words or a sentence, what would they be and why?
Okay. Yeah. So you at the beginning you said you asked me to be candid. Candor is candor is tough. I mean, I'm not sure humans like candor, you know. But I'll try. Okay. So what I've learned is that, which is also something that I've also learned about myself, right? Because I mean, I need to state that clearly. I'm also one of the people, right, in the community, right? So people, systems, structure, what I learned and what I saw is that we are more aware of the next person than we are aware of ourselves. And that's tough because it means that you can easily see what the next person isn't doing right or well, or you know, or you're not enough or too much of, you know, you could just see, right? But you know, you hardly see yourself. I mean, and literally, I mean, literally, you will never see yourself forever, right? You could see reflection of yourself. You're never going to see your face, right? I mean, I just have whatever sense of myself that I have is from reflection. Now, if you put that into context, it basically means that you need to let people show you who you are, right? Because you can't, right? Yeah, you can't see. So it means that as you interface with people, it's a mirror, but then you have a choice to open your eyes to see or to close your eyes, right? So that's really what I learned. But I mean, it also helped me to become better, and I really think I'm very super grateful for that. So yeah, you asked me to be candid. should have asked me for candor. Yeah, but that's it, and it's a good thing, right? It is a good thing. Okay, yeah. So there's the other question, right?
Yes, the other one is if you had to describe your journey here, if you had to describe your journey here so far with like 3 words or 5, what would it be and why?
Okay, so I would say exciting, and I would say uncomfortable, and I would say inspiring, and I would not have it any other way, right? You cannot grow. For every time that I feel uncomfortable in the community, I'm very happy because I can tell that, oh, so I'm about to grow. I'm about to grow, right? I'm about to grow. So every time I feel uncomfortable, I always tell myself, oh, so you are about to grow. You're about to develop. You're about to grow. So yeah, so so when I say uncomfortable, never in the bad light, totally in the good light, right? Yeah, exciting, of course. So many, I could tell stories and stories and stories, inspiring as well. And because of people here, because of the things that we've done, I want to do more. I want to do more here. I want to do more outside here, and things like that. And I'm just happy because my offline identity, in a sense, is totally different from who I am in Deep Funding, because not many people know that how I got so many followers on Twitter. It was because I would write long threads, philosophies. I would, and then so I don't want to go a lot, but point is, I'm glad that I'm in Deep Funding, and I'm glad for all the growth that I'm able to get. And I hope that soon I'm able to put all of that together for Deep Funding, for Deep projects. I keep saying Deep Funding. Okay, Deep projects, to put all that for Deep projects. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Ayo. You were such a lovely, lovely guest, and you've dropped certain gems for us that we'll be taking home tonight. Thank you so much for being here and for being a part of our community, such an integral, important part. I know that many times, especially on Wednesdays, you and Mayor, you don't sleep till the wee hours of the morning, and it's all those sacrifices that we don't see that makes your work here really so important and greatly appreciated. So thank you for being here, and a huge shout out to every guest we've had on, from Tommy to Andrea. Gosh, I can't begin to list, to Andre, to Priscilla, to Cardoso, to Mayor, to Anthony, to Cressy, every single one of you. You guys were amazing. Some of you did not respond to my messages, but in the spirit of the end of an era, bygones will be bygones. But thank you to everyone who took out time to attend, right? I know some people really wanted to be guests like Rojo, but due to the time difference, he just wasn't able to attend town halls as often. But thank you guys for sharing your thoughts, your experiences, a bit of your work with us, a part of your life as well with us. We've got to learn really interesting things about each and every one of you, and I'm so grateful. We at Event Circle, we're also so grateful, and we look forward to working with you all again as Event Circle and as me, Miriam, in some way when we now transition into projects. So for all of you that we do not get to spotlight, we see you, we love you, we are grateful for you, and who knows, Priscilla is in a future-oriented vibe tonight, so who knows, might be back here in 3 months in some way, talking about your own food choices and vacation options as well, and all the things that you do to contribute to AI and crypto and Web3 and basically just change in general and science and the love of it all. So thank you all, and yeah, Priscilla, that's it for me. Thank you, Ayo, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Miriam. So fun fact about Ayo, which I think a lot of you don't know, Ayo is actually a celebrity in Nigeria. Like, he's that big of a deal. Like, you see the likes of Vicky James, Ayo is in there.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch, but he really is popular on Twitter.